I was getting ready to load up the last video I just made and turned on the TV, and they had a TV show like a 2020 or OWN or whatever. It's one of those kind of things. This lady, we were trying to get away from this mad serial killer, right? And I had to change. You have to connect to the people while you're watching TV and what they're thinking about, what's bothering them, and what their science is saying to them. And people that do like professional wrestling, sports, athletics, acting, they're excessive and compulsive. They don't feel happy, and well, it's not happy. They're addicted. Okay, so you can't be happy if you're an addict. You're constantly doing things that draw attention to yourself. You're happy to be on a. You're not okay. I can't say happy. Sorry. You're addicted. You want to be. You rather be on a commercial selling Swiffer than living in the Lord's Prayer for children. Okay, and you're building your acting resume because you want to compete with other people to get that gig on, in CSICSS with Mark Harmon and LL Cool J and all the rest of that ridiculous bullshit, right? Now, you live the Lord's Prayer. You don't have to compete, and you can stay, if you feel a need to go somewhere. Now, you ever heard that song, Where Does the Little Tear Come From by George Jones? Yeah. Where does the restless river come from? Finds when you fight, you love the roving kind. Now, aggressive, excessive, compulsive people that are selfish are very mobile. They're always moving. They're always going. Okay? And when people that aren't selfish move, it's to get away from the selfish people and the aggressive people. Okay, like a lot of the pioneers. And that, what's the name of that movie that Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise are, where they try to get away from those jerks in Ireland so they can have their own home without being, stuff. And we don't need cinema. Okay, we don't need movies anymore. Like, we don't need bars to celebrate where Billie Holiday got raped and became a drug addict, lived a very miserable life, even though she was very famous and very talented. Okay, how in the hell did we? Jean, roses are red, get along and enjoy our lives with our wives and our children before we had to live vicariously through you egomaniacs having to pretend everything's amazing and great if we buy your Pandora jewelry and get your Progressive Assurance. I mean, fuck. How did we ever get along before you geniuses came and saved and fixed our lives? Mobile homes and campers and shit like that. If you restore your ecosystem, you're not going to need to go get away from it all because it all doesn't suck. You know what I'm saying? So as far as getting in a camper, you just get out, take a walk around nature in your general vicinity, and go back home, or sleep outside in a tent if you. Or better yet, like, the Japanese with certain houses and stuff they made them, and lots of other cultures do, where they had screens and things like that, so you had good oxygen while you slept. Okay, like I do, I sleep with all the windows open. Even though there's a lot of chemical crap going on in this valley of death and hell, it's still better to assimilate to your environment and assimilate to nature than it is to try to hide from your environment and don't assimilate to nature. It's very difficult. We shouldn't have to be. And what they're doing right now, what they can do right now too, and it's very obvious, but their technology is getting more intelligent and quicker than them, is going to eventually stop them. But like in that Z Guys movie, they said that you could go and put these chemicals, like you could literally, to change the numbers of real scientific evidence, you could go to small rural communities and put crap in the air, okay, that causes diseases that are prevalent in respiratory systems that are prevalent in metropolitan areas, like the fuel in the water at Camp Lejeune, okay, and things like that. So there are certain things that you could do. Now, people would eventually, well, here's what happened, and it's usually because of industrialization, mechanization, and genocidal operations. Like John Davison Rockefeller putting the gasoline in the water supplies, in the water outside of his oil factories, Standard Oil factories, and he murdered hundreds of thousands of people. Okay, and he had to pay money as restitution. He didn't get incarcerated or anything like that, right? And so, because he went before Congress and said, hey, all the rest of you are like this, and they all had to let it go. And so it's pretty gross, but what they don't understand is when things change and get better. You're not going to obsess on people. Now people obsess more on Taylor Swift, and they have restraining orders and the Kardashians and stuff like that. If you live in a 50-mile square radius and you run into someone like Kim or Kendall Jenner or something like that, there's lots of girls that are pretty like that. Natalie looks like Kendall Jenner. Okay. And so you're not going to obsess. It's just going to be like a simple twist of fate with perhaps you'll see her once again. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You'll let it go. You'll understand that you'll understand that people that are meant to be in your life end up in your life. If you obsess on them, your manipulated relationships don't work. Like I used to tell my wives all the time. Like Amy studied me. She tells Natalie all this bullshit. She lies a lot. She learned it. She was kitchened and learned it. But she sat there and she studied me. And my friends told me. Oh, she came and talked to all my friends, and all my friends set it up. And Myra said, well, my mom was 20 years younger than my dad, and he took care of him when he got older and stuff. So I thought Griffith was like, no, she was 14 years younger, and I took care of her and the kids. And then it was the exact opposite. Took years off my life. It wasn't Amy. It was the people manipulating Amy. Okay. But Amy studied me and knew all the right things to say. And then she told Natalie, this loser comes up and asks you to be with you. And I was like, that's the exact opposite of what happened. She came after me. She asked me out. And then she went and screwed around with Kelly because I was too boring. And he was an idiot and immature and a jerk. And she came back to me and said, help me raise Natalie. And because a little voice in my head said, I have to help with Natalie, I did. You do what you have to do. I lost Patrick, yes, but Patrick had to take care of his mother. And these were very selfish, insidious people doing bad science projects, and they're still in the process of it. If you're intelligent enough to understand me, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you'll think I'm incoherent, speaking gibberish, but that's okay. You probably think money's real and need a job for it and want to be on TV to get more of it. All right, peace out.